Secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull, I subscribe to Spurs in Focus."
From outer space to San Antonio. Splash! Go Spurs, go!
And that is nothing but net.
I know, Spurs fans. I know. Ah, well. Hey, everybody. Yeah, welcome to a live episode of Spurs in Focus right here on YouTube, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Amazon Podcast. The list goes on and on. Substack, Spurs in Focus. I can't even focus right now, everybody. Spurs in Focus, Substack, completely free. Go sign up right now. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, longtime Spurs writer in San Antonio. That guy, you know him, you love him, Mr. Rudy Campos of The Sports Answer. He is on X at The Sports Answer. And should I preface this before we begin? Talk about the Spurs loss. Yeah, loss, everybody. That you texted me said that you might be flying some expletives later on in the show.
A lot of that was due because I'm pretty tired after a long work week. But yeah, man, I mean, the expletives were raining big time in my household tonight watching that Spurs game. So I won't rain them on the show. It's a kid's show, so I won't rain them on the show.
123-108 was your final score, and unfortunately, your Spurs were not on the winning end. Yeah, they're down 1-2 to the Thunder. The Thunder have regained home court advantage. The Spurs blew a double-figure lead. I should be shocked. There's so many things that wouldn't happen. What happened in Game 3? What went down? What was a turning point? What was the biggest storyline? And there's no doubt about it. Y'all probably know what it is. Any standout stats? I don't know. What about standout players? Probably not. Maybe there might be from the Thunder side, not from the Spurs side. We're going to get it all today, right now. Yeah, your Spurs, again, they lost in San Antonio. And first of all, we're going to get to the big elephant in the room right now. But my first initial takeaway, and I got the three major ones, but my general one right now is they showed their inexperience. They really, really did. They let the Thunder get to them. The Spurs showed some uncharacteristic lack of composure from Vassell. I get it. You're trying to defend your boy from a hard push. I don't think A.J. Mitchell pushed him to warrant a flagrant one. To barking at the refs, to De'Aaron Fox's return, but he's getting in the refs. It looked like they were just flustered, Rudy, that they were just sick and tired of the flopping, sick and tired of the fouls not going their way. The Thunder's defense was ratcheted up. It got under their skin. This team looked like they lost some composure throughout the game.
Yeah, they did. And, I mean, we came from Stephon Castle getting fouled by Alex Caruso. Now, that foul right there, sure. I mean, it was a play on the ball. It was a very hard foul, but it was a play on the ball. A.J. Mitchell's foul on Stephon Castle, he did push him a little bit in the back again. It's a playoff foul. As frustrating it is for Spurs fans, it is a frustrating. What I like to see was I did like to see them standing up for, Stephon Castle because it was back-to-back plays that he got fouled like that. I totally get that. But the composure part, yeah, I mean, you're correct, man. And, yeah, nobody likes to see SGA continue to fall on the floor. Or if you listen to the Friday Drive earlier, my new nickname for him was London Bridges because he's always falling down. That's my nickname for SGA. Nobody likes to see it. It's bad basketball, but at the same time, you're going to do something until you can't do it anymore. And that's the frustrating part is the NBA literally put in a rule for flopping that you get a technical foul for every time you flop. That call has never been made in the NBA from my knowledge. So, yeah, the youth came out for San Antonio tonight. Didn't look like there was really, outside of the first 10 minutes maybe of the game,
about it.
There was like no urgency for San Antonio. It was fight. It was giving up, 3-point opportunity after 3-point opportunity. Jared McCain looked like, man, I don't know what it is. If it's not Caruso looking like Bernard King, it's Jared McCain looking like Alex English out there just scoring at will. And the defense for the Spurs, I mean, they look lost. Carter Bryant looks super lost tonight.
Yep.
Castle just looked frustrated from, from that first 10 minutes on. Uh, it just didn't seem like it was in sync tonight for San Antonio. The series is not completely over. It's only 2-1. Game 4 is going to be a determining factor. But again, I don't know where you really go for if you're Mitch Johnson and the coaching staff after this loss, because you either write on the board, this was just a butt kicking, or you write on the board, I have no words. And that's literally the way I'm looking at it. I could not find an adjustment to make from this game.
Well, I think we get a big adjustment, and the biggest adjustment is the bench got to step up. I swear to God, I'm not fabricating this. 76 bench points for the Thunder.
Yeah.
Heard that right. 76 bench points for the Thunder. The Spurs bench was non-existent. What about their sixth man of the year? Keldon Johnson. Did he do anything? Something. 5 points, 2 rebounds. Wasn't enough. What about Carter Bryant? How about 3 points? Wasn't enough. The list goes on and on. It was Harrison Barnes. Did he do anything? Nope. 3-minute play. That's all he played.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Cornett, give you 4 points. But my point is 76 OKC points, led by Jared McCain, who had a career playoff night versus San Antonio with 24 bench points. He alone outscored the Spurs bench just by himself. What about Casey Wallace? 11 points. It was just, that was a difference. And you mentioned something before we went live that your co-host, Derek Gervin, highlighted just how lopsided the bench production is in this series.
Yeah, he did. When we were talking on the show earlier, the Friday Drive, Derek mentioned how this, with this game included, they were almost close to 200 points in the series.
Jeez.
Combined for 3 games. That's bench production. They're producing more from the bench than they are from their starters, if you can imagine that. So, yeah, I mean, OKC is showing that they probably have the deepest team in the league. And I was, for one, I had them maybe third behind San Antonio and Denver as having one of the deepest teams. But this playoff series that they have against the Spurs, their bench is outperforming the starters for San Antonio. I mean, that is a crazy, crazy stat to even look at. And Derek highlighted it big time. One thing he also highlighted, Jeff, that maybe you didn't realize, and I didn't even either too. He called me. He goes, "What's the one thing that OKC's doing that's different?" And I said, "I don't know, man. I mean, other than kicking our ass, I don't know." He said, "Well, they're sending the Spurs to the free throw line, slowing the game down. If you notice, they're letting the emotions of Stephon Castle and the other players get into their head. That's why they're sending them to the line. They're not able to focus. You can't get a team in rhythm if you're sending them to the line." And I did not even snap to that. I said, "You know what? You're right. Spurs get to the line. You give up 2 points, great. You give up an and one every now and then, awesome." But they got to the line. They were getting physical with the Spurs. And he said that slowed down and took San Antonio out of rhythm. Thinking about it, I think Derek's right on that, man.
Yeah. General observation is it was the Thunder that showed championship poise because the Spurs started the game hot, 15-point lead. That's how much it was. I was ready to say, 15-0 run. Yeah, thank you. 15-0 run to start the game. They were jazzed up. The crowd was in it. Vassell was in it. The whole team was in it. And there was a Thunder just chipping away little by little. They took the lead, and the rest was history. That showed a championship experience right there. A team that's been there, done that. The Spurs look like the team that is worthy of being the number 1 contender to the crown, but just not quite there yet, at least in game 3. Now, I'm not, Rudy, you're right. There's still, 4 more games to play, if possible, maybe. Yeah. But the Spurs learned a lot tonight. They learned a lot. I think the Thunder got into their head. You're right. They messed up their rhythm. The second half was all Thunder pace. I literally sat there thinking the first half, I was like, man, this first half's already done. And then the third quarter and the fourth quarter, I was like, The third quarter's not even done. It was the Thunder's pace in the second half. That's how they want it. And they got contributions. We all talked about that right now, the bench production. Well, the Spurs were just looking for anything. And I thought Wemby was generational, Rudy. Generational.
God, don't start with that.
Rudy. I mean,
I
he got
have
40-something points in game one, and how many rebounds? Did he forget to rebound? Did the Spurs forget that they have a 7'4" alien they can lob consistently to? Where was Wemby?
You know, I mean, like I said, my head was peeking through the generational bushes. I haven't completely came out and say it, but when you look at a player of his stature and a player of his, skill set, yeah, I mean, you can say he's generation off of that. But 26 tonight, only 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 2 blocks of steal, 3 assists. Not a very MVP-like game, from him. But again, it's the adjustments by Mark Dagnall and the coaching staff on Victor. One things we highlighted earlier was Victor has to dominate the paint and start super fast in that first quarter. He's got to impose his will. He's got to make sure OKC knows he's there. And you know what, Jeff? The game started off like that. But as the game continued, it seemed like Victor wasn't in the paint. And when he was, the guys were not getting him the ball. They were not looking his way. And that's something that you've got to highlight, man. You've got a 7'5" guy that literally got, for a guy like Chet Holmgren who's been playing scared, didn't play scared tonight. So that is a very concerning thing. The first 2 games, Victor just seemed to put his will and, put his force into Chet. I mean, Hardenstein was the only guy giving him problems, but now it seems like Jalen Williams, Chet, Hardenstein, Alex Caruso. I mean, there's even instances where you have Victor guarding Alex Caruso. Why? I understand you've got to switch off and stuff, but there was a time where Alex Caruso shot a 3-pointer over Victor. He didn't even jump. He just put his hand up. I'm like, this isn't so much an experience as it is of, oh God, I don't know if I can say it right, but it's not fear. I think the playoff run is catching up to him as far as fatigue goes. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen a playoff series or a playoffs where it's every other day of the game.
It's every other day,
I don't think we've ever seen that.
For Victor, he's never experienced this. For most of these guys that are still young, Harper, played college ball 1 year. He didn't have this type of season this long, this deep into the calendar. As I mentioned previously on yesterday's Spurs in Focus, and I even threw a question to you guys on your show, you and Derek. This has now become a war of attrition. Who has the most gas in the tank? And the Spurs, they looked like they were gassed. Wemby looked like he was in it, yes, but not really. Castle, again, forcing things, and I know that's his game, bully ball, all that stuff, but he was getting frustrated. De'Aaron Fox, tip my cap to him for trying to come back from that injury, but he did well, all things considered, but he looked like he injured himself again. Knowing the Spurs, he may not play in game 4. Harper was really a non-factor. I mean, I was already saying that the Thunder don't have an answer for him, and they brought him back down to earth in game 3. Mm-hmm. And kind of a general observation, if we're going to our takeaways, our concrete ones that really stood out, is this: when SGA had 0 points to start the game and under double-figure scoring at half, the Spurs cannot squander that. They cannot squander that. And he came alive in the second half, Rudy. How pivotal was that?
That was very pivotal. That pretty much sealed the deal for San Antonio. When you're able to hold the false MVP, Shea Gilchrist, London
false
Bridges,
MVP, everybody.
Shea, London Bridges, Gilchrist, Alexander, when you're able to hold them under double digits at the first half and you cannot capitalize, you go into halftime down, 11 points, I think is what it was. That is not a good look for San Antonio. I mean, then when he gets going in the second half, you pretty much, I literally got a text saying this game's over, and it was halfway through the third quarter. Wow. And I sent that text back saying, I wholeheartedly agree. This game is over. SGA's warming up. This team is just knocking down every single shot. They're getting second chance opportunities. It's right. It's a series of attrition right now. And right now, it seems like OKC had the longer break, the longer rest. They have
Yep.
the more fresher legs. San Antonio coming off of a physical Minnesota series, then getting every single day you get one or series, you get 1 day of rest, and then you got to go right back and play. So it's looking like they're gassed, and it's concerning because again, Victor, almost 40 minutes again tonight
Yeah.
in this game. You're trying to come back, and I totally understand that. You want to get this win, but it's catching up to them left and right. I mean,
Yep.
there's a couple of good things that I saw from the game, but for right now, it's I don't know, man. I mean, the only thing I can tell you right now is you're not going to win any series if your bench cannot produce.
Right.
That's the biggest elephant in the room. You've got to get bench production, and that's something you and I highlighted when we did the preview and the breakdown before the series even started. You've got to get bench production. The bench has to be better than OKC. So far, it's OKC 3, San Antonio 0.
Speaking of the minutes played by Victor, so far in the playoffs in total, 413 minutes played for Victor. And right now he's averaging, if I can pull it up here for everybody, 31.8 minutes per game in the postseason.
He only played 26 in the regular season, right? It was somewhere around there.
Yep.
I mean,
so his usage is going a lot higher than maybe what he's used to. And you're seeing there's some plays where, I mean, when Jared McCain has enough power to dislodge Wemby, in the paint, no less, and score on Wemby, that should tell you a lot. There was even a play where he kept on biting on pump fakes. I don't know if you caught that. And I forgot who it was, but a Thunder player pump faked him. And he kind of was like, whatever, put his hand up and just kind of turn around like, okay, you made it. And I think that has a lot to do with the fatigue factor there. Yeah. They had a chance, and I'll give them credit. They stayed within 10-ish points for the most part. Thunder didn't run away with the game. They pushed back, and especially in the fourth period. But the little things, I've told everybody it's going to come down to the little things in this series. Who has more bench power? The Thunder do. Who's being scrappier, more physical? The Thunder are. The last I checked, Rudy, I think Caruso is tall, yes, to our standards, but not that tall to Wemby's standard. Mm-hmm. Why don't they establish Wemby and get that mismatch going? Back to the basket, Wemby. You trained with Dream. Did you train with Dream? Take Caruso at the baseline, whatever you got to do, and go to work. Do they not understand that, Rudy?
I mean, it worked in game one. And let's be real, Jeff, if not for a Wemby miracle 30-footer, that's probably 3-0 Oklahoma City right now. But it did work in game one. I mean, his back to the basket, he was able to get into the paint. I have no idea what transpired from then until now. I mean, you can see him playing around the rim, but again, they're not able to get him the ball. Is it because Caruso is getting weak side help, and it's just making it tough for Wemby to catch it? There was a point where I think Wemby had a one-on-one on the perimeter, and I can't remember who it was, and I'm thinking he's going to take a jump shot. Instead of going right to the rim, attacking the basket, he's going to take a jump shot. Feels like rookie year Wembanyama, that part. And I'm like, we don't need that right now. You got to get easy baskets. The best baskets in basketball are the ones that, the clock is stopped. So that means getting fouled. Maybe get an and one, go to the free throw line, do what you got to do. But the usage of his minutes, it's really, really going to be affecting him. Here's the thing. And I kind of have to push back a little bit on Mitch. As much as I praise the coaching staff, I got to push back on Mitch because 22, 24, 28, 27, those are the minutes from 4 players on the Oklahoma City Thunder. 12 minutes, 17 minutes. 17 minutes is the most by any Spurs bench player, and that was Dylan Harper. After that, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, Cornette, Keldon, and Carter Bryant had 10 minutes. So why isn't a guy like Harrison Barnes playing more minutes? You want to try to spell minutes. You've got a veteran guy. Do you need Harrison Barnes to give you 20 points a game like he was at the beginning of the year? Absolutely not. But you need to get Harrison Barnes at least 15, 16 minutes in this game. Your usage of the starting five, again, made it clear in the Minnesota series, going to make it clear in Oklahoma series. If these guys are playing 32, 33 plus minutes every single game, you're going to lose the series. Oklahoma City starters, SGA was the only one over 36 minutes, over 30 minutes tonight.
Yep.
I mean, their starters are not playing big time minutes. Mitch has to use his bench, man. As much as the bench has been sucking, let's be real, as much as they've been really crapping the bed this series, you've got to play more of your bench guys. I mean, you're killing your start. You're basically Tom Thibodeauing your starters right now, like you did with the Knicks, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, and that was one of the big storylines, or coming into this series ahead of Game 1 was, the bench. Spurs are deep, Thunder are deep.
Yes,
maybe not. Maybe the bench for the San Antonio Spurs has been exposed because it's been a non-factor for now 3 straight games in this series. Everything that I wanted to see happen as far as keys to a win versus the Thunder in the Game 3 didn't exist. I talked about bench points, didn't happen.
Yeah.
I said Wemby has to go nuclear, didn't happen. Where was Champagny? Where has he been? He's been absent. KJ has been absent for the most part. This is not good. Now, we're not gonna say jump off a cliff yet, but my God, my toes are on the ledge already. I haven't looked down yet, but Game 4 is gonna say everything about this team. What
You're
kind
that
of
far?
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, my toes are at the line. They're not already over the line. I just think. I mean, think about it too. This is the first time the Spurs have lost 2 games straight in the postseason. 2 straight games.
Yeah.
So, look, you said it perfectly the last time you were on here. You said the road to the championship is going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And perhaps, obviously maybe it's still too early to tell, but if the Spurs do lose the series, that's just a stepping stone towards that direction. The Bulls, they had Detroit in their way. How many years? So many years.
Like 2 or 3, I think.
The Spurs had the Lakers. The Tim Duncan era had the Lakers and the Kobe Bryant and Shaq and Phil Jackson.
George Gervin had the Lakers. We couldn't get through the Lakers. So
it happens.
There's a lot. There's a lot, man. And it's I mean, LeBron couldn't get through Boston for a little while there. I mean, it's not I don't want Spurs fans to jump off a ledge because it's kind of, this is what it feels like. Younger generation Spurs fans, they get the taste of victory. They get the taste of this. And don't get me wrong, Jeff and I are disappointed in the losses, but it's not like we haven't been in situations like this before when we've covered the Spurs and looked at the Spurs teams. We've been through these situations before, and it's not fun. But there's only the only thing about the NBA and any sport you play, Jeff, there's only one champion. There can only be one champion. So there's no second place participation trophy unless you want to consider the season tournament a second place trophy. But, right now, OKC is showing they are the better team. Are they clearly the better team? Yeah, I would say now looking at them, they probably are the better team.
I would say not by much, though. Not by much. It's Game 2, the Spurs shot themselves in the foot. But then again, if you don't have Harper go out and if you have Fox, I'm fully convinced Spurs win Game 2 because it was just a turnover thing. I don't think Harper would turn the ball over that much. Fox has turnover problems, but both are point guards. Now, this game right here was just a total, you know what? San Antonio, you got off to a 15-0 start. After that, it's our game. What did they do? And, I'm going to save the stat for when we break down our stats. But they did one thing that if you would have looked at it, you would have swore up and down San Antonio won this game. But they didn't. And the reason why they didn't was because OKC did something
that, they've been doing to other teams, and it's not just flopping, it's actually playing team ball.
There it is. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, I'm going to give you my big takeaways from the Game 3 loss for your San Antonio Spurs. Rudy's going to give his, react to mine. We still going to do turning point, standout stat players, and get to your comments. Keep them coming. Rudy is monitoring the chat right now. He's going to give you all the good ones in just a few minutes.
As the new leader of the Decepticons, I command you to subscribe to Spurs in Focus.
Got Anakin Skywalker making an
I
appearance
was going
today.
to say, I mean, the Spurs looked just as bad as Anakin did right there. So.
Yeah. By the way, was it an omen that last night there was a storm that came into San Antonio and the thunder came into San Antonio?
The thunder rose, according to what, Garth Brooks? Is that who it is?
The thunder rose. It was a sign. I don't know. That was a bad omen. Hey, everybody. Welcome to a live episode of Spurs in Focus right here on YouTube, iTunes, Amazon Podcast, YouTube Music. Go subscribe right now. Spurs in Focus Substack is completely free. Google it. Sign up today. Go check it out because if you do happen to catch another Spurs home playoff game, crossing fingers, they last longer than Game 5, there is an interesting new treat there. I don't know, Rudy, would you eat it? It's called the Crusher. So what it is, it's deep fried peanut butter with mole sauce, coleslaw or hot, sweet flavored coleslaw with a chicken fillet breaded. Would you eat it?
No, just flat
Sounds
out.
Like too much.
I mean, you got me at fried peanut butter. I'm like, no. Then you add mole on top of it. I know, man. That's just putting everything and anything but the kitchen sink inside of a meal. I can't do that. As it is,
$15 too to get it.
How much was it?
15.
Nah, dude. See, I couldn't do that. I'm eating bad as it is. I've gained a few pounds. I need to start working on losing them. Then you sent me that image, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm definitely need to stick to a weight loss because I gained 20 pounds just looking at that thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of weight just looking at it. Again, go to Spurs in Focus. That's where you'll find it, and give us your reaction to it. All right. So we're giving our general observations in the first segment. All right, let's give two more specific ones. Which one stood out? So let me give you mine, everybody. We talked about it already. There was no Spurs bench. It was non-existent. Keldon, he did what I don't know. He's just been absent this whole series, let alone the playoffs. He had a game?
Playoffs.
He had a game versus Minnesota, but that was about it. In Game 3, 5 points, 2 rebounds for the reigning sixth man of the year in 11 minutes. He was a minus 23 on the night with 5 fouls as well, 1 for 4 shooting from the 3 line, and only took 1 shot inside the 3 line. He was over 1. So there is that 1 turnover as well. We mentioned earlier it was OKC and their bench, McCain, the whole crew there, Case and Wallace, couldn't miss a 3-shot at all out of nowhere. So they were just a big factor. Talked about it already. There was no Wembayama big game. He did not have that nuclear generational Game 1 Western Conference Finals performance. It was non-existent. Now, his any stat line wasn't horrible. I mean, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in 39 minutes. It was a +4 in the night. But he did have 2 turnovers, 2 blocks, a steal, and he took 5 3-point attempts. I got to ask you, what do you think about that, Rudy? Think he's taking a little bit too many threes, or it's about right?
You know what? I've seen him take a whole lot more threes in past season. I think he's okay right now. He's not. If this makes sense, it probably does. He's not taking bad threes. There's times in his career where he's taking bad threes, and you're like, "What are you doing?" He's not taking bad threes. He's taking what the defense is giving to him beyond the arc, and I have no problem with that. He has upped his game a lot more, from his first couple of years in the league. So 5 threes, I can live with that. They're not bad threes. It's not like he's just chucking them up. He's taking good shots, so I'm okay with that part.
And finally, no poise. I talked about it earlier. The Spurs, they let the physicality get to them. They let the refs and them calling the fouls against them get to them. We saw Fox complaining, Vassell complaining, Keldon complaining. There was some fire in them when AJ Mitchell hit Castle, but I mean, outside of that, man, they just had no poise, no composure. I was waiting for that big Spurs burst. We saw it versus the Blazers, we saw it versus the the Timberwolves in the postseason, especially versus the Blazers. You remember they were down double figures and they have that a tremendous burst at second half. I was waiting for that. Didn't happen at all. And yeah, the Thunder were the ones that are looking like a championship team that's been there and done that. I'm going to do this on the screen a little longer. Rudy, your thoughts?
Yeah, so as far as your goes, your takeaways, yeah, the Spurs bench has been non-existent. Really, I mean, yeah, Keldon is your sixth man of the year, but in the postseason, Dylan Harper's been your sixth man of the year. And that's pretty much it's just him and then whatever Keldon gives you. Always we've been giving praise to Carter Bryant a whole lot for his defensive poise and his defensive prowess, but these last couple of games, Carter Bryant has looked completely lost, and you can tell he's a rookie. So the bench definitely has to come alive. Like I said, I mean, the OKC's bench is, I think, almost close to 200 points to where the Spurs bench, I don't even think has hit 100 points when it comes to this series. But bench has to be the key for the next for game 4 at least. Big Wembanyama's big game. Again, man, I mean, 26 points is fine. It's right about his average for the season. But you look at the rebounds, he's not very effective on the glass, which for a 7'5" guy, you would think he'd be getting at least 10, 11 rebounds in this game. Didn't really get out rebound so much by Hardenstein or Holmgren at all. It just seems like the big men are struggling on the boards, no poise. I mean, yeah, they got to keep their mental game a little bit better than what they did. For me, Jeff, my takeaway, we had a comment in here, and I'm gonna highlight it because this was one of my takeaways. Must be having that ESP thing going. The cycling plane just stopped, and that's one of my biggest things is that when you saw the Spurs make those big comebacks against Portland, when you saw the Spurs dominate and literally run Minnesota out of the building, their defense was spot on from the first minute all the way till the very end of the game. Yes, they gave up they had a big lead, or they were down big to Portland in 2 of those games, but they brought them back. Their defense, making Portland, being aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. That is something that San Antonio, these past 2 games, maybe even game 1, I'll say, they've been lackluster on the defensive side of the ball. We've seen so many open 3-point opportunities. A Spurs team in the regular season was one of the best when it came to closing out 3-point shooters. They were able to get back on defense, make it tough for them. For whatever reason, could it be that the fatigue is kicking in because it's every other day now? I don't know, but it's not Spurs defense. It's not the top-ranked Spurs defense we had seen in the regular season. It's definitely not the top-ranked defense we saw against Portland and Minnesota. This team has gone haywire. I'm going to say they've just gone haywire. Offensively, they can't really get into a rhythm. If they get on a streak, great. Then they kind of cool off. Defensively, it just seems like Oklahoma City is just picking their points and their little positions on every offensive side. You give Shea the ball. We said have him dribble the ball for 12, 14 seconds. That's what he's doing. But now he's gotten smarter. He's making those dribbles. He's using the screen. He's either taking up a shot or he's finding the open man. And when I say finding the open man, everybody's been open. When you've got Jalen Williams nailing 3-pointers because he's wide open, there is something wrong with the Spurs defense. So that's my biggest takeaway right there. One other takeaway is you got them for a reason, dude. You got them for a reason. If you don't like the physicality that Oklahoma City's playing, you've got 9 fouls sitting on the bench and Plumlee, Biyombo, and Olynyk. Throw those guys out there, man. If you are so fatigued where Victor doesn't look interested anymore, throw those guys in there. Say, Mason, you're in there. You've got 6 fouls. Use them all. You want to be physical. The only way the refs are going to allow this, allow the Spurs to get calls is if they're physical back to Oklahoma City. So those are my 2 things. The poise was my third one. SGA is going to fall, dude. He's going to fall. And he's going to keep doing it until the refs quit calling it in his favor. And not only him, everybody on that team is going to do it. They're going to flop. They're going to, throw their hands up in the air, wave them like they don't care until the referees stop calling it. You just got to keep your poise.
Yep. All right. Well, those are our general takeaways, specific takeaways. What about you? Let us know on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Let Rudy know on X at The Sports Answer. More on the answer in just a few minutes. All right. Time to put Rudy in the hot seat. Which category are we going first in Game 3?
I was hoping that it would be standout player. My standout player tonight is a guy that has improved tremendously once Coach Pop retired and Mitch Johnson took over. That is Devin Vassell. 20 points tonight, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers, had 4 steals, was very, very aggressive against SGA. Did get a couple of fouls there. I think he had 4 fouls tonight. Yeah, 4 fouls tonight. Very aggressive tonight by Devin. This is the Devin that I'm got accustomed to seeing this regular season, especially in the early part of the regular season. This is the kind of Devin Vassell that we need to see continuing play, especially against Oklahoma City. If you get, more contributions from Victor, from Stephon Castle, and then you add Devin's 20 points, the Spurs will be a tough team to beat. Devin with the up and under tonight. Again, they made it clear on the broadcast that George Gervin would have been proud of that finger roll and one that he had. So, again, Devin Vassell, you are my standout player, the guy. And, I mean, shout out to Mitch, man, because under Pop, Devin seemed to struggle. But now that Mitch has the helms, Devin seemed to flourish a little bit more. So he's my standout player. Should I go buy a Devin Vassell jersey? I'm going to say, give me one more 20-point game and I'll go get one.
I'm going to join you with Devin Vassell as a standout player because he stood up for Castle. That's why I'm picking him. The moment he did that, Rudy, I said, well, he's going to be my standout player when we do the live show.
Yeah.
I love that out of him. He got into Mitchell's face. He pointed at him. I think he just said something like a 1-1-1. I don't know what that meant. But the fact that he stood up for his guy after what everybody thought was a flagrant foul, that's what it was called. I didn't think it was a flagrant foul. I thought it was a playoff foul. Mm-hmm. But nevertheless, I love that out of him, that spirit, that competitive, that solidarity. That's why he's my standout player. Of course, obviously, statistically, he did well. But I got to add that in there. I love that fight. Finally, you see a guy stand up for his teammates. And Castle, man, he wanted hands. He got up in a hurry, and he went at Mitchell, and then they had to hold him back. So Castle was ready to go. But that goes back to what we're talking about poise. Castle can't do that. You can't lose. You can't get kicked out, Castle. If he got kicked because he wanted to fight, that would have been problems.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, the Spurs are frustrated because, of the flopping from, London Bridges going down all the time, from Hardenstein holding even Cornette tonight as he was called for, the jersey pull, everything. If the Spurs are that upset about it, you saw the fight tonight in Castle and Devin Vassell. Where the hell is everybody else? Keldon Johnson, I think he got into it with Lou Dort a little bit, just kind of a push. Yeah. What is the problem with you just really pushing back? And another thing, Castle, Wemby, if we're so pissed off that SGA continues to use this chicken wing and push off, why not you do it on the offensive side? Give the reason to say, okay, ref, you're not calling it on him, so you cannot call it on us. As you see on the screen, that's exactly what he does. He pushes off with his offhand. So why not do it back to him or the OKC Thunder? I don't get why, this isn't the Tim Duncan era. This isn't the, David Robinson era. We don't always have to be Mr. Nice Guy. If they're pushing you, if he's getting away with pushing it with his off arm, do it back in return. Because now you're putting the refs in that position to, okay, you called me for that. You need to call him for that. It's the exact same thing. They're not putting the refs in that kind of position. SGA gets away with it because nobody else is doing it. Continue to do it. Make them make the call if you're that pissed off. And if it doesn't work, then, like our Hispanic heritage says, throw some chingazos. I don't care. Yeah. It's the play. Are you really going to come back in 2 weeks? Oh, well, the season, we have another 20 games in the season. Bull. You've only got a couple of more losses, and that's it. Season over. Leave it on the court. If you got to fight, fight. Show us that you want to be champions.
Hey, Wemby did. He threw an elbow at Nas Reed.
But Nas Reed is not playing in this series.
So I'm just saying, like we see their superstar do it, so they can definitely do it
again. Do it again.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to the next category. Which one is Rudy going to be under the hot seat in? Let's go with this one.
Standout stat. I mean, for me, it was. I got two, and I got two here.
All right, hit me with
one of them. I'm gonna go with the percentage of the lead. I mean, the Spurs started off really, really strong, 15-0 run, had the lead, and after that, it kind of just went away once OKC brought back. It just seemed like they could not figure out where to stop OKC during that run. Mitch Johnson used a very good timely timeout, tried to get his guys squared away, tried to get him back into the right frame of mind. Did not work. OKC just continued to bombard them from three-point range. And again, the reason why I brought that up is because during that lead for San Antonio, you had SGA in control until that second half. I mean, you had him under wraps and you still couldn't hold the lead. So percentage of lead was one stat. The other one is actually what I mentioned earlier, Jeff, when I said, if you look at this stat, you're like, man, it probably was a closer game than what it was. San Antonio, 13, Oklahoma City, 2, fast break points.
Ooh.
San Antonio outscored OKC 13-2 on the fast break points. I think majority of those came in that 15-0 run. So it was an early start, but what does that make a difference for? Well, OKC loves to run and gun. They love to get out on the break. They went freaking 1990, late 90s, early 2000s Spurs basketball, slowed the game down, got creative, were able to get their guys open, backdoor cuts, pick and rolls. They played fundamental sound basketball. And that's why the Spurs did win up that fast break point. But that's the reason why I said, hey, this is a game that I've seen Oklahoma City play, but they are much better they're much better on the break. OKC is. Yeah. But for right now, I mean, they picked the Spurs apart in that half court game. I will say I give them a whole lot of credit because they played fundamentally sound basketball with the exception of, whatever you want to call holds or whatever. I don't really give a damn about that. But yeah, they played a very good offensive set, on the basketball side of things. I give them props for that, but those are my two stats.
I got two as well. The first one is 11 turnovers. That's all the Spurs had. So yay, Spurs, even though you lost 123-108. So there you have it. 11 turnovers, not in the plus 20s or 20 turnovers. That's good. And then the other one is what we talked about earlier. 76-23. What is that? Mm-hmm. 76 bench points for the Thunder, 23 for the Spurs in game 3 of the conference finals there. That is just too lopsided. Way too lopsided. Rudy, are we there already? This Thunder bench is deeper than San Antonio?
Sure looks like it, only because they're playing more minutes than San Antonio's benches. I mean, we're not really getting a whole lot of bench minutes for San Antonio. I mean, 3 guys are getting majority of the minutes, and Carter, Keldon Johnson, and Hill Harper. I think this was the first game we've seen Cornette in double-digit minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I know he didn't have a whole lot the first game. He was at 13 minutes now. But you're not getting a whole lot of bench minutes. You're not getting a whole lot of bench production. As it could be that Mitch is maybe panicking a little bit because he feels like his bench, he can't trust his bench.
Right.
I mean, you've got to learn you trusted the bench in the season. I mean, you've got to have to be able to trust them now. Yeah, they give up, 5 or 6 points, but I mean, it just comes down to trust, dude. I think that's the word for tonight is trust. I don't know if he has as much trust in his bench as Dagnall has in his own bench, but then again, OKC has a 6-guard lineup. Spurs don't have a 6-guard lineup.
Yeah.
So the Spurs have the better guards. OKC has a much deeper plethora of guards, and you just got to trust the bench, man. It's trust. Like Philadelphia trusts the process, and it didn't work out. If you don't continue to trust your bench, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, Jeremy McCain, 24 points. Jalen Williams, 18 points. Caruso, 15 points. Casey Wallace, 11. That was an historic night from the Thunder. 76 points off the bench. 76. That is just not acceptable, silver and black team. You know what other thing that bites me about this game, Rudy, before we get to turning point here? So I talked about how I felt Spurs squandered a game where SGA was a non-factor in the first half.
Yeah.
Right. He exploded in the second half, and he did what he did. But no one else stings too. They were out Jalen Williams, J-Dub, their second best player.
Yeah.
They lost. You got your guys back, Harper and Fox, from injury. J-Dub is still out, and the Spurs couldn't capitalize on that. That stung a little bit, Rudy. Your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it stung a little bit, but oh well. I mean, J-Dub plays, they probably lose by another, they probably get another, 10, 11 points. I mean, it's not, they're not losing to J-Dub. They're losing to Alex Caruso. They're losing to Jared McCain. You know, those two guys are making a huge difference. The last two games, Jalen Williams has been a huge factor for them hitting key three-pointers. So they're not even getting production from guys like Isaiah Joe. I mean, guys that they normally are getting production from.
AJ Mitchell either.
AJ Mitchell, a guy that was, dominating the playoffs in the first two rounds and then dominating the regular season as well towards the end. They're not getting production from him. Lou Dortz is zero. He's got a donut. So, I mean, Jalen Williams, I get it. He's, considered probably their second or third best player, but they're getting more from these other guys than they would. I mean, hell, they got almost as much from Jared McCain as they did from, Shea Gilchrist tonight.
Right.
So,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think J-Dub, whether he's in or out, it doesn't really make a difference. They're just rolling right now, and the Spurs just got to figure out what to do in game. Like I said, I have no idea what adjustments to make. It was that kind of a game where you almost have to watch the game film a couple of times to even figure out what adjustments to make.
Well, one you really highlighted is Mitch go deeper in the bench. Might as well. You could try
Trust
that.
it.
See if that
Trust
works.
the
All
bench.
right. Rudy, your turning point.
I mean, I could say when they blew the 15-point lead, I mean, that was a turning point. Second half, that's all it was. They were down 11 going into the second half. They controlled SGA. For that first half, turning point was when the second half started and SGA got rolling. That's when, he scored what I believe it was 17 points in the second half after finishing the first with 9 points. So, yeah, I mean, once he got rolling, it made life a lot easier for Jared McCain. It made life a lot easier for Alex Caruso. The turning point for me was when, SGA got going. It's just simple a fact as that. When he got going, everybody around him was able to play better. You saw Chet getting to the basket a little bit more. I mean, that's pretty much my turning point. I don't have a whole lot more to put in there, because you could easily say the 15-point lead that they lost was a turning point. They could have still came back. They've had opportunities where they could have come back. So turning point for me was when SGA got going, everybody around him continued to produce. And that's where we stand, man. I mean, like I said, it's not the guys that normally produce for OKC are not producing. And it's still scary that the Spurs are not able to get one of the.
For me, my turning point was fourth quarter, where Cornette fouled Casey Wallace on a 4-point play.
Yeah.
That because the Spurs were still within striking distance. We're getting blown out. There's still like 10-ish points, and I think that just put the nail in the coffin. The time was down on their side. That was a huge just momentum swing towards the Thunder. This is all she wrote. That was the turning point for me. That one play, everybody, that one foul, 4-point play, iced it for the Thunder. That was a turning point for me. All right. Those are our thoughts on the game. We gave you our turning point, standout stats, standout player. What about you guys? Let Rudy know your thoughts and who your standout player and turning point, all that good stuff at The Sports Answer. Me at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So the entire show, everybody, leave your comments. Rudy's been taking care of that for us. Rudy, what do we got?
We got some good comments out there. We have Sid that come in. Another thing, no Wemby at a post. We've talked about that earlier. I mean, that's something that we were hoping to see more of tonight. Is seeing him in the post, but it just didn't happen. And that's what it is. I forgot Jacob is overseas, and he's like tomorrow. It's already tomorrow. Let me know. I'm going to text Jacob tomorroh from Grady the Market and say, "Hey, did the Spurs win?" Since
Hey, there you
it's
go.
Sunday before
Future
we
look
actually
forward.
get there. KJ, my man, has not made his 6th man of the year known. Emotions of fatigue getting the best of him. He really hasn't had a good playoffs, man, for his first playoffs. You would have thought maybe he would have a little bit better of a playoff run. But again, I mean, he just really hasn't had one at all. Tim Gonzalez, the experience with the Thunder showing up
Yeah, we
tonight.
talked about that. Yep.
Yeah, Cody, Future Spurs. Future Spurs will need better shooting and an enforcer to help bully those who target Wemby. Kind of what we talked about earlier. I mean, you've got to get somebody, Mason Plumlee. You got 9 fouls on the bench. Use them. I mean, if you're gonna lose, use those fouls, man. We need more from KJ and Julian for sure. Probably need to learn how to flop like them to pretty much everybody.
Rudy talked about that too.
Yeah, I mean, if SGA is gonna push off, you may as well push off and see if you can get away with it, because then you're forcing the ref to say, "You called it on me. You need to call it on him." We're seeing Mitch needs to put Mason in to play alongside Wemby. I wouldn't mind that at all. Definitely didn't mind that at all. What you mentioned earlier, the stifling defense we had played. It just stopped. And then key one here, I like this. Just stop blaming the refs. Now, I don't think you and I have blamed the refs on this show. I can't speak for anybody else. Are the Spurs blaming the refs? I haven't heard anything. It's frustrating. It very is. But again, one thing that we did say on the show was you can't blame the refs if you're not giving it back to OKC. If they're doing to you what you can do that back to them. Basically, it goes with the push off. If SGA is pushing off on you, push off on him. Push off on somebody else. Make the refs understand you're calling it on me, but you're not calling it on them. That is very fishy. So you got to put the refs there. You got to make sure that they understand it. Need to stop doubling Shea Gilchrist Alexander. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
SGA's flopping. We get a lot of that. The didn't have McKay on this roster. Thunder could have been. If you saw Daryl Morey, would you slap him across the face for making that trade? I mean, I don't get why you traded Jared McCain. You're
Sam Presti doing his magic, man.
Is it Sam Presti or Daryl? Does Sam Presti have nude photos of Daryl Morey on his phone and said, "I'm going to blackmail you if you don't give me Jared McCain"? I mean, Jared McCain, and Spurs fans, you're going to hate me, but Jared McCain, prior to the injury, was your rookie of the year, not Stephon Castle. I mean, go back to that series, go back to that season. Jared McCain was averaging over 20 plus points a game, had Philadelphia rolling until he got injured for the season. He was going to be your rookie of the year. So, that's just what I'm saying. You don't trade Jared McCain. They're saying LeBron is a big flopper of the league, but we all see who is the flopper. Yeah, and just especially in game 2, ref suck. Yeah, we got a bunch of that here. All the doubling is leading to open threes. That I do agree. That's why I can see
for that one.
But I mean, because it worked on Anthony Edwards doesn't really mean it's going to work on SGA.
Yeah,
they just got to get back to the board. But I do want to mention something real quick. While we've been on stream, Jeff, I did post my new nickname for SGA. And I had a comment from a OKC fan at Andrew Kesey, and he says, it's a lame A nickname, LOL, no response given, nickname, LOL. I tried responding to him saying, thank you and, thanks for everything, but he blocked me. How is it that first off, I don't know how I got blocked for calling SGA London Bridges, but if you didn't like the nickname, no big deal. But are we at the point where the generation of keyboard warriors will insult you and then block you because they're worried about what kind of comeback I would have? I mean, I'm not a bad person. You can ask everybody. Everybody loves me who doesn't, who knows me. Or even if you know me, you probably hate me.
We got this for that guy.
Yeah. So says the post you're trying to reply has been deleted or is not visible to you.
Probably somebody's burner, Rudy.
Probably. I mean, I know people in San Antonio, a lot of them have burners, but this guy has a lot of This guy has a lot of followers, so I don't think he was able to get the 240 followers in the last couple of seconds.
All right. Well, thank y'all for those comments. A little round of applause for y'all for joining us here at Spurs on what is an ominous night now because it is now thundering in San Antonio.
Right now?
Yep, I kid you not. I can hear it outside my window right now. I live in downtown San Antonio, and it's about to thunder and rain right now.
You know what, Jeff? I'm gonna say something. You can finally have a nice night of sleep on a Friday without all the damn honking. There you go.
But the SAPD are probably happy about that.
Well, yeah, SAPD is definitely happy about that.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for leaving the comments. We appreciate it. We make you part of the show every time we have these live game reactions as the playoffs continue. All right. Well, we're done talking. We have to hear from you. Let Rudy know your thoughts on the Game 3 loss against Spurs, down 1-2 to the Thunder in the West Finals after losing 123-108 in Game 3 in San Antonio. Spurs lose a home court advantage. It's back to OKC. Rudy, because we're probably not going to have a show ahead of Sunday, can this Spurs team now beat the Thunder 3 out of the next 4 games? That's tough, man.
3 out of the next 4.
That's what's going to take.
I'm gonna say no.
I don't think so.
I'm not saying they can't. They really can't.
Can they force a Game 7? How about that?
I have more confidence, yeah, and I think they could force a Game 7. And if there is a Game 7, chances are not good they win that game.
Do you think this is a gentleman's sweep?
No. Okay. I think it goes 6 regardless, at least.
What you predicted 6, right? Well, what did you predict?
Spurs and 6 is what I predicted.
Spurs and 6, yeah.
So the Spurs would have to win the next 3.
I think I predicted Spurs in 7. So,
and our one of our other hosts along with us, Derek, predicted OKC in 6. So he's looking, and I mean, we had said this was a 50-50 matchup. You couldn't. I was trying to predict the winner up until the day we did a preview, and I still couldn't figure it. So, do the Spurs win Game 4? I think they win Game 4. I'll be honest. I think they do win Game 4.
They're wearing their white jerseys, though.
I think they lose Game 4. No, I'm just playing. No, I think they actually win Game 4. I think they make an adjustment. They probably end up getting the win. And then after that, it's a 3-game series.
Jeez.
Can they beat them 2 out of the next 3? Both of them, 2 games being in OKC. That's the difficult part, man. They did it in Game 1. They had some bounces go their way. But if you can't take advantage of, keeping SGA under 10 points in the first half, you're probably not going to win that game.
Well, Rudy, the thunder is getting louder and louder outside. So, yeesh. Not a good sign. Now, what a way to end the night, huh, everybody? The Thunder beat the Spurs, and it's about to rain, and there's thunder throughout the city of San Antonio right now.
That's a good thing, because now the Spurs didn't win, so nobody's on the streets in the rain. And
all right. Yeah, no shenanigans happening out of Southwest Military Drive or Commerce Street right now.
Yeah.
Rudy, what is going on with the answer? We need to know why everybody needs to go tune in.
Definitely, because on Fridays it's myself and Derek Irvin, the Friday Drive over on the Sports Answer, or the Sports Answer on Answer Now TV. We can catch also Spurs in Focus with Jeff Garcia. These live shows can go on; they're on Answer Now TV as well. Why do you got to join? Because we're the only guys that break it down for you, probably the best out of anybody around. We keep everything real. We don't say stuff to go viral, and we don't block you on any kind of social media like people block me and Derek and everybody else. So we keep it real, man. You love the show. Today we talked about football. Today we talked a lot of NBA. And we even went all in on this young generation. So this young generation, do your homework. It's not that hard. Do your homework. Don't disrespect the older generation when it comes to NBA basketball players, because they paved the way for your little stars today. So keep in mind, do your homework and respect the king.
There you go. Follow Rudy on X at The Sports Answer. It's the best way to catch what's going on at The Answer. Just simply follow him on X, again, at The Sports Answer. Rudy, thank you for joining us here on this live episode of Spurs in Focus. And we thank y'all for being part of Spurs in Focus. A big applause to you guys. Seriously, big applause to y'all. Y'all make it happen. Y'all make it hum. That's what we love, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, YouTube Music, Pocket Cast, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify. The list goes on and on. Spurs in Focus Substack is completely free. Just Google it, Spurs in Focus. Go subscribe right now. Again, completely free. Go see if you'll eat that new tasty, quote unquote, treat that you can have in the Frost. What's going on as far as freebies? If the Spurs do win the next playoff game, how you can get some free stuff if you live in San Antonio. It's all there. Spurs in Focus. And thank you for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. This should be your first place, your first go-to, your first listen when you want to talk and hear about your silver and black. Unsubscribe to all those other places. Come here to Spurs in Focus. We'll be back. Maybe, I don't know. It depends on Rudy. Rudy, how are you feeling for a Sunday live show?
I should be okay for now. I should be okay if
peer pressure him, everybody. Go to his Twitter right now or his X and just do a bunch of peer pressure.
I mean, if they lose, then we may have to cancel the Jeff, because we're gonna have a lot of Spurs fans, doing crazy stuff.
Those guys carrying the casket and they're dancing as they walk. It'll be like that.
You said it, not me.
That should be the opening graphic, maybe, if they do lose.
Should we have the Undertaker's theme, WWE theme playing
something
in the background?
Like that, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll let you know whether they're gonna be back on Sunday or not.
We should be back.
Yeah. But hey, by the way, before we go, the San Antonio Toros. If you live in San Antonio, they have a new pro football team called the Toros. They're gonna be having a preseason game this Monday, Memorial Day. If you're in San Antonio, at Harlandale Memorial Stadium, go there right now. Tickets are dirt cheap, $10. I am their official writer, so you'll see me walking around the field, talking to players. There might be a chance you can see Rudy Campos there, maybe 50-50. Go find out.
Yeah.
Go find out. Yeah, but again, it's completely free if you're in San Antonio, Harlandale Memorial Stadium. It's a preseason matchup against the Tennessee Hornets. Go check it out. Again, go support local sports here in San Antonio. All right, with that being said, great night for me and Rudy. Not a good night for Spurs fans. Again, Spurs lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder, 123-108. They're down 1-2 in the West Finals. So we'll see how they do in Game 4. But for Mr. Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia, and now you're in Focus with Spurs in Focus.